Hello everyone. Today's topic of discussion is important preconditions of sociological research. This is the continuation of previous video. In the previous video, I have discussed about basic misconceptions regarding sociological research. And today's video will be the continuation of this discussion on sociological research. So I will particularly focus on preconditions of sociological research and what should be the steps of sociological research. So let's begin. First important preconditions of sociological research is understanding sociological perspectives and theories, and the ability to relate sociological perspectives and theories in the real life situation, in the real empirical situation. So when the researcher of sociology or social science researcher goes for research, he or she must able to understand sociological perspectives and theories, and how these perspectives and theories are related to contemporary situation, related to the contemporary social phenomena, the realities, empirical situations, because perspectives and theories are not entirely abstract, and without the perspectives and theories, the research cannot be fulfilled. Research cannot be scientific, cannot be sociological. So a researcher must be able to relate the perspectives, theoretical schools with the situation concerned. So for this, a researcher must have proper clarity about sociological perspectives and schools of thoughts. It is not necessary that researcher has to use various sociological perspectives and theories, numbers of theories and perspectives. No, the clarity must be there, and particular perspective or theoretical school must be applied while going for choosing a particular reality or phenomena, so that the research can be considered as a scientific one. Second important precondition of sociological research is the conceptualization of realities and phenomena. It is very important for a researcher in sociology to conceptualize various social realities, cultural realities, structural realities, and phenomena in the society. Conceptualization will express the phenomena, reality, very clearly. This conceptualization helps the researcher to connect various situations, connect various realities, and connect the situation with the theory and perspective. Again, this conceptualization also helps the uh, further research, further researches, further study on this particular issue. So conceptualization is very important. Here conceptualization does not means the use of the existing concepts. Of course, existing concepts may define a particular reality or phenomena, but researcher can also reinterpret the concepts or may institute new concepts, can initiate new conceptualization process. So this is how the process of making a connection between the situation in the reality, phenomena in the reality, can establish a good link with the existing theory and perspectives, and then researcher may produce a different generalizations, a different outcomes, a different arguments and statements which may leads to further research. Then comes the third preconditions of sociological research: sociological imagination. Sociological imagination I consider as the most important precondition of sociological research. That person is now able to understand theory, perspectives. Person is now thinking about the conceptualization of the realities, but these will be properly connected, these will be properly materialized if a researcher has the sociological imagination. Here sociological imagination does not mean imagining something abstract or imagining something out of the society or imagination about a society. No, here sociological imagination means the proper visualization of a reality and situation, proper visualization of a particular uh, personality, particular the group of people, or a particular pattern of the society, particular cultural system, economic system, structural system, institutions in the society. It is how researcher is able to visualize it based on the existing knowledge and the observation. Because if a person who is going to do research in a particular area and this person has no knowledge, has no affinity with the society and situation, then it would be difficult for the persons to carry out the sociological research. For this he must have sociological imagination, and for this sociological imagination he may have to collect certain the informations, certain knowledge about the particular society, and must have certain observations, and based on these he may have certain visualizations of the reality. And when a society will be visualized, when society or a social structure or system, institutions or a cultural system will be visualized, it will always be a connection between the past and the present, and the current activities. So this sociological imagination must be there for a sociological researcher, and this is one of the important precondition in the sociological research. Fourth precondition of sociological research is ability to interconnect social structure and agency, that is social structure and individuals. Researcher must be able to understand there is two entities, social structure and agency or individuals. And sociological works, sociological theories and perspectives are divided into many groups and thoughts based on these two entities. That is, one group who believes on the social structure as the foundation of the society, another group who believes on the individual or agency as the foundation of the society. So I am not going to discuss these aspects in this video anyway. So a researcher must have well understanding about the interconnectedness of social structure and agency, and how these two may have a independent existence as well as interconnected existence. So once these two things will be cleared, then individual can think of, or researcher can think of a particular research problem, a particular research issues in a particular society. Otherwise, taking up a particular research issue would be confusing, ambiguous for the researcher. If the researchers don't know whether this issue is taking up social structural point of view or the agency point of view, so it will ultimately confuse the readers to locate a particular theoretical and perspectives over the issue, over the research outcomes. So that is why interconnection must be established. fifth important precondition of sociological research is observation. Sociological researcher must be a good observer. Here, observation does not mean deliberately going and sitting in a particular place and living in a particular society to observe certain things. Of course, there is a particular method called participant observation, where a person is or a researcher can go and live in a society or a group or a place to observe. But this is not the only kind of observation. There may be certain the usual observation. A researcher is first an individual, then he or she is a researcher. As a individual, what the person observes, and then as a researcher, how his or her observation comes out, and whether any connection between the person and the researcher. There is one individual who is a person as well as a researcher. So whether there is any connection between these two observations, whether there is any link between these two observations or a contradiction. So it only comes if the researcher is the observer. Researcher has to be observer. It's not that I'm doing research now, I will do observation. No. A sociological researcher has to be an observer. If he or she is able to observe the society, social activities, social practices, social systems, then only he can go for sociological research. It does not mean that now I have taken up a research topic for research and now I am going for observation. I am planning to observe something. It's not like this. Observation should be a part and parcel of the person's or individual's everyday activity. So if a researcher is observing, that means researcher is observing as a person, because researcher is not doing research in entire 24 hours. A sociological researcher is not doing observation or not doing the research in entire 24 hours. So as a person, the researcher may observe something. So here two important things. One, the social researcher or sociological researchers observation as a person and observation as a researcher, or a deliberate observation as a method of research. So there must be the connection between these two, and then only researcher would be able to understand that whether there is any kind of contradiction or similarity exists or not. So these are the preconditions of sociological research. So these preconditions means a person must have these features, these characteristics in his idea of doing research. When a person is going to do sociological research, he or she must have these attributes, these characteristics, these factors, and then only he may go for sociological research. So in next video, I will discuss about what are the steps, what are the important steps that should be taken up by sociological research. So thank you very much for watching.